He'd prefer the distillery not to be decked out in tinsel and baubles, but held his tongue. After his father died the year Cole turned 13, he'd lost his appetite for celebrating Christmas, and had never really got it back. "Don't worry, it will be tasteful and appropriate." 2 words that nailed his mother to a T. There was something else, but it can wait. An added flush tinged her cheeks. "We'll talk later." There was no point in pressing. She wouldn't explain until she was good and ready. That was a gene they definitely shared. The black hoodie covered Jenna's distinctive red hair, but didn't look out of place on a cold November morning. She inched around to the back of the small group of people gathered around the rough carved oak bar where they had been asked to wait for their guide. "Hi, y'all, and welcome to Moonshine Hollow Distillery. I'm Cole Landon IV, great-grandson of Lightning Landon." Everyone paid attention to the man, but he was the sort of man people would always notice, tour guide or not. His physical appearance was arresting enough. Most women would find his tall, broad-shouldered figure easy on the eyes, but it was his air of suppressed energy that couldn't be ignored. It was corralled now into doing a task he had little appetite for, judging by the barely there smile that kept a safe distance from his dark eyes. The jolt of his deep, drawling voice made her eyes prickle. The rich, honeyed tones reminded Jenna of her favorite grandfather, because Jimmy Richards never lost his Southern accent, despite living in England for over 60 years until his recent death. Cole launched into the history of his family's involvement in illegal moonshine, and she was disappointed, but not surprised, when there was no mention of her great-grandfather, Tucker Richards. Her heart thudded when he began to ask everyone where they'd come from. She'd avoided speaking to anyone else yet, but her accent would be impossible to disguise in this sea of Americans. "How about you, ma'am?" As their gazes locked, Jenna's face heated up. I'm from England." "What brought you to our neck of the woods?" Everyone stared as though she had 2 heads. "I'm on holiday." "Great. We don't get many visitors this time of year. Right, everyone, let's get going. I know y'all want to see how we make our products and then get around to the good part, the tastings. We've developed several new flavors for the holiday season I think you're gonna love." A distinctive, warm, yeasty scent wafted out as he pushed open a set of heavy wood doors, and she trailed after the rest of the group into the distillery. They stopped in front of a massive copper still, its chimney soaring all the way to the top of the high roof. Moonshine is basically unaged whiskey, so the distillation processes are very similar. The main difference is that we bottle our product almost immediately instead of aging it in barrels. I'll run through the process quickly, then I'm happy to go into as much or as little detail as y'all are interested in hearing. Before coming here, she'd done her research, and although chemistry was never her strong suit, she understood that the basic recipe he was explaining now revolved around the fact that yeast plus sugar equaled ethanol. You might not realize that the most crucial ingredient is good water, and the 4 best places for that are said to be Scotland, Ireland, Kentucky, and here in Tennessee. We're fortunate to have our own well, and that superb water is the basis of everything we make. Jenna couldn't help being drawn in as Cole showed them samples of the grains they used. Corn, wheat, and rye that were all farmed locally and milled there in the distillery. Almost 700 gallons of water goes in this mash tank every morning, and that's heated up before the grain is added and stirred to do its magic. Once the alcohol is excreted, the spent mash goes back to a local farmer to feed his cows.